Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, a channel to see the world differently. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification so you will not miss our videos uploaded every week. Today, we talk about Donald Trump, a US politician and businessman who has entertained the world recently with his lawsuits and Make America Great Again, Again and Again campaign. After his conviction of 34 felonies days ago, Donald Trump may become the first criminal leading the most potent country in the universe. Interestingly, Donald Trump claims to win more supporters after being politically persecuted by the court. It seems to many people that lawbreakers are more trustworthy than some politicians. Donald Trump is America's only former president convicted, and he told Fox News that he is okay with it. One of his lawyers suggests that Donald Trump will run for election even if he is jailed after unprecedented political and selective persecution. It is worth mentioning that after Trump was convicted of 34 felonies, he raised an additional fund of $53 million for his 2024 campaign, which proves the saying that the United States is heaven for criminals. Trump does not admit he has done anything wrong with the hush money, and for a lot of Americans, it is not a big deal either. Whether Donald Trump had intimacy with the adult star is not the key point. Many voters may even think Donald Trump, like Bill Clinton, another former president who does not know how to tighten his zipper, is at least competent and energetic, slightly better than someone who merely knows how to show his affection with hands. America's Constitution does not prohibit a prisoner from becoming the U.S. president, and Donald Trump can set a precedent that enables millions of U.S. criminals to find themselves capable of leading the country as well someday. Most likely, some of them can outcompete the current one, and the chance is bigger than the U.S. defeating China. Donald Trump, the potential prisoner, has a new move after his conviction of 34 felony counts to conceal the hush money paid to an adult star. According to reports from NBC and Politico on June 2, local time, Donald Trump opened a TikTok account on the evening of June 1, 2024, with the username Real Donald Trump, and posted his first short video on the platform showing his interaction with supporters in Newark, New Jersey. Merely 18 hours later, he got 2.7 million followers on the platform, and on June 6, the fourth day, 3 million more people were added to the list, nearly 6 million following him on TikTok, about 16 times Joe Biden's subscribers. The current U.S. President, Joe Biden, has 362,000 followers on the platform, accounting for less than 7% of Donald Trump's. TikTok has more than 100 million users in the United States. Analysts say that Trump's move to join TikTok is to reach out to potential voters, especially young voters, before the November election. Republicans have criticized TikTok on the grounds of so-called national security, and the Biden administration also urged TikTok to sell its U.S. business or exit the U.S. market. When Donald Trump was still POTUS, he did the same thing to TikTok as Joe Biden is doing. Trump wants to garner support from younger voters, so his team embraced TikTok, which is a major victory for TikTok when it is fighting the U.S. government for survival. TikTok has been a vital playground for Trump's campaign, with the ratio of pro-Trump to pro-Biden content on the platform about 2-to-1, according to sources within TikTok. The New York Times also reported last month, citing an internal TikTok analysis, that long before Trump was even on TikTok, the number of pro-Trump posts on TikTok since last November has been almost double the number of pro-Biden posts. Donald Trump's moves today are a far cry from his past positions. Under Trump's presidency, the United States had blackmailed TikTok, and then President Donald Trump signed an executive order banning TikTok. Since March 2024, the U.S. politicians against TikTok launched a new round of suppression, which Donald Trump disagreed with. On March 7, Donald Trump showed his discord on social media against the banning of TikTok. In a conversation on March 11, Trump claimed that despite the so-called national security risk posed by TikTok, banning the app would only favor Facebook. He hates Facebook, regarding it as the enemy of the American people. He says there are a lot of people who love TikTok, there are a lot of kids on TikTok, and they would go crazy without it. Donald Trump suddenly became TikTok's unofficial brand ambassador, against his rival, Joe Biden, who officially signed a $95 billion foreign aid bill on April 24, forcing ByteDance to divest TikTok's U.S. operations. In relevant provisions, ByteDance is required to divest its business within 270 days or face a nationwide ban in the United States. On May 7, TikTok and its parent company ByteDance filed a lawsuit with the U.S. Court of Appeals in response to Biden's latest signing of the bill, formally suing the U.S. federal government, claiming that the bill violates the U.S. Constitution, violating the freedom of speech under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. It is worth mentioning that TikTok sued the Trump administration on August 24, 2020, for the ban on TikTok, and in 2021, the Biden administration dropped Trump's executive order. If Donald Trump wins the 2024 election and leads the country again, either in the White House, in jail, or under house arrest, he may probably drop Biden's bill as well. We have to say even the greatest playwright, William Shakespeare, could not be so imaginative. Of course, Trump might continue to pressure ByteDance to divest TikTok when he becomes the POTUS again, even if TikTok helps him win the support of young voters. When he visited Beijing in November 2017, Chinese President Xi Jinping greeted him like a king in the Forbidden City. He called Xi Jinping his best friend at that time. Still, he backstabbed his best friend when he returned home, launching the trade war against Beijing. Under his presidency, the U.S. government coerced Canada to arrest Huawei's CFO, Meng Wanzhou, trying to dismember Huawei, as it had done to many other tech giants like Siemens in Germany, Alstom in France and Toshiba in Japan. Banning TikTok in the United States, once again, puts the U.S. on the opposite side of the principle of fair competition and the rules of international trade and commerce. If the so-called national security reason can be used to arbitrarily suppress the outstanding enterprises from other countries, there is no fairness and justice to speak of. No matter who becomes the President of the United States, he will suppress other countries for America's benefit. Even if Donald Trump becomes the country's first prisoner president, he will continue the war with China, hoping to sustain America's global dominance. ByteDance will have a bitter fight ahead even if Donald Trump becomes the U.S. president again in 2025. It is worth mentioning that Donald Trump has been in trouble in many cases, not just the one regarding the hush money. A gag order will be supposedly in place to prevent Donald Trump from criticizing other key figures involved in the sex scandal case in public. According to reports, the judge's daughter is a Democratic consultant, but her stance may not necessarily affect the judge's decision. Republicans accuse the Democrats of persecuting, not prosecuting, Donald Trump for political reasons. Interestingly, Donald Trump gained more support after the conviction. He says he is okay with the conviction and will go to jail if the judge makes the final decision, but he does not know whether his supporters are okay with it. After Joe Biden's questionable victory in the 2020 election, which Donald Trump and his supporters never recognized, rioters attacked Capitol Hill. Donald Trump was accused of supporting the riot. Since then, the United States has become a divided state, and the two parties, Democrats and Republicans, fought each other like enemies. Donald Trump has been charged and involved in several cases. On August 8, 2022, FBI agents even searched his residence in Florida for classified material relating to nuclear weapons, according to the New York Times and the Washington Post. Donald Trump asserts he is a political prisoner, but as a convicted felon, he is banned in 37 countries with travel restrictions, including India, Canada, and the UK. If he wins the 2024 election and stays in jail instead of the White House, it does not matter whether those countries allow him to cross their borders, as he is least likely to break the jail under his new term considering his age. He can summon the Indian, Canadian, and British leaders to the jail for key issues like national security. Suppose Donald Trump becomes the 47th U.S. President of the United States in 2025 as a convicted felon. In that case, we have reasons to believe that Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, may become the POTUS someday as well. Everything is possible in the United States of America, a land blessed and chosen by God.